If you're a man over 60, there's something important you should know. The reason you might feel weaker in the mornings, why your energy might fade before the day is done, and why your drive isn't quite what it used to be, well, it might not be age at all. The real surprise is this: your body isn't failing you, it's just missing the right kind of fuel. And often, it's just 5 simple fruits that can make all the difference. My name is Dr. Edward Langley, and I'm a professor of urology and men's health. For over 30 years, I've talked with men just like you. Men who thought their best years were behind them. Men who came to me feeling tired, frustrated, and ready to give up. And I've been lucky enough to show them that getting older doesn't have to mean decline. When you know what to feed your body, you can get your vitality back at any age. Here's the thing: many men your age are taking pills, getting injections, or spending money on supplements that promise the world but don't deliver. Meanwhile, the very things that can improve your blood flow, balance your hormones, give you energy, sharpen your mind, and even boost your confidence, they're right there in the fruit section at your local grocery store. It might sound too good to be true, and that's why most men never find out about it. But today, I'm going to share 5 essential fruits that can bring back your strength, your energy, and your vitality in ways that science has already proven. No tricks, no empty promises, just natural results that your body remembers. Stick with me until the end, because I'll also explain how these fruits work together as a powerful team, and what you can expect to feel in just 3 days, 7 days, and 15 days. This could really change the way you think about aging. Now, let's start with the very first fruit, something that's been known for centuries as a symbol of strength and energy. And modern science is now proving just how powerful it is for men over 60. I'm talking about pomegranates, the circulation boosters that improve blood flow and protect your prostate. So, first up, pomegranates, the circulation supercharger. When I think about the men I've seen over the years, one story always comes to mind when we talk about circulation and vitality. His name was George, and he was a 72-year-old retired teacher from Baltimore. He came into my office one cloudy morning, shoulders slumped, voice quiet, saying the same thing I've heard from so many men before. "Doctor," he said, "I just don't feel like myself anymore." What really struck me wasn't just his words, but the sadness in his eyes. He'd accepted that this loss of energy, strength, and confidence was just part of getting older, something that couldn't be changed. But what George didn't know, and what I want every man over 60 to understand, is that a lot of the time, it's not age itself, it's blood flow. The truth is, circulation is vital for your well-being. Every heartbeat, every burst of energy in the morning, every intimate moment, it all depends on healthy blood vessels and good circulation. And that's where one simple fruit, the pomegranate, can really make a difference. People have seen pomegranates as a symbol of fertility and strength for a long time, and now modern science is showing just how quickly they can help men get back what they thought they'd lost. Pomegranates are full of polyphenol, plant compounds that are like fertilizer for your arteries. They nourish the lining of your blood vessels, helping them relax and widen. When that happens, blood doesn't just trickle where it needs to go, it flows freely and strongly. This is especially important for men after 60, because as we age, our arteries can stiffen, our nitric oxide levels drop, and the blood supply to important areas decreases. That's when men start to feel sluggish in the mornings, have weaker erections, and lose stamina. But here's the good news: pomegranates directly boost nitric oxide, the key molecule that relaxes your blood vessels and improves blood flow where it matters most. I'll never forget George's face when I told him he didn't need a prescription or an injection to feel better. He needed fruit, all natural fuel. I asked him to drink just 6 ounces of pure, unsweetened pomegranate juice every morning. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated. 2 weeks later, George came back to my office a changed man. His shoulders were back, his eyes were brighter, and he even joked that his wife had been giving him different looks lately. That wasn't magic, that was biology coming back to life. And the science backs up his story. A study from Johns Hopkins University showed that older men who drank pomegranate juice every day saw real improvements in erection strength and stamina in just 2 weeks. Think about that. 2 weeks to feel a noticeable change. Not months, not years, just a few days of giving your body the natural support it needed. Another study from UCLA found that men over 60 who ate pomegranates regularly had 37% fewer symptoms of benign prostatic hyperplasia, or enlarged prostate. That means fewer trips to the bathroom at night, deeper, more restful sleep, and a healthier prostate over time. Beyond circulation and prostate health, the antioxidants in pomegranates reduce inflammation and oxidative stress, 2 silent enemies of aging that slowly drain your vitality. When those forces are reduced, your body feels lighter, stronger, and younger from the inside out. Even the taste itself, refreshing, tart, and deeply satisfying, seems to remind men of something they'd forgotten: that good nutrition can be simple, natural, and really effective. In my practice, I've seen men change their lives by making this one small change. They didn't have to turn their lives upside down or follow complicated plans. They just needed to remember that nature already has solutions that are perfect for the aging male body. A glass of pomegranate juice in the morning, or even a handful of seeds sprinkled on your breakfast, is enough to start a change you can feel in your energy, your posture, and your confidence. Gentlemen, circulation is key. Without it, nothing else works. Not your hormones, not your energy, not your performance. That's why I call pomegranates the circulation supercharger. It improves the very flow that keeps you alive and strong. But circulation is just the start, because once your blood is flowing freely again, your body needs the right fuel to rebuild hormones, boost energy, and bring back the spark that age has tried to dim. And that's where our next fruit comes in. Creamy green, and one of the most powerful testosterone boosters you'll ever find. Curious? Let me show you why avocados might be the missing piece your body's been waiting for. Next, we have avocados, the testosterone booster. I often see a certain kind of quiet frustration in men after 60. They're not sick, they're not weak, but something inside them feels dimmed, like the spark that used to drive them forward has faded. I remember Henry, a 68-year-old retired executive from Chicago. He'd lived a disciplined life, worked hard, stayed active, and looked like a healthy man. But when he sat in my office, his voice was heavy. He said, "Doctor, I don't feel like a man anymore. My energy is gone. My motivation is slipping. And even my drive in the bedroom feels like a memory." It wasn't sadness I saw in his face, it was loss. The loss of something that gave his life force and direction. What Henry didn't know, and what so many men don't realize, is that this feeling isn't just about age, it's about testosterone. Testosterone isn't just a hormone, it's the essence of male vitality. It gives you the fire in your belly when you wake up in the morning, ready to take on the day. It gives you confidence in your voice, strength in your handshake, and the passion that fuels your intimacy and your purpose. But after 60, testosterone levels naturally decline. And when that happens, men can start to feel invisible, less present, less alive. But here's what I tell my patients. Your body isn't broken. It knows how to produce testosterone, but it needs the right building blocks to do it. And one of the most powerful natural sources of those building blocks is a fruit that many men overlook every day, the avocado. This creamy green fruit has exactly what your body needs to restore hormonal balance. The healthy fats in avocados, especially monounsaturated fats, are the raw materials your body uses to create testosterone. Without enough of these good fats, your body simply can't make the hormones it needs. Avocados are also full of magnesium and zinc, two minerals that quietly play a key role in male hormone production. And there's something else, something many men never think about, vitamin B6. This vitamin, which is abundant in avocados, helps lower cortisol, the stress hormone that slowly suffocates testosterone over time. Lower cortisol means your body finally has room to let testosterone rise again. When Henry started adding half an avocado to his breakfast each morning, it wasn't long before he noticed a change. Within a week, his energy improved. He told me he felt more present in his conversations with his wife, more focused in his thoughts, and even more eager to tackle the small tasks that had been weighing him down. His sleep improved, his mood brightened, and that spark he thought was gone forever started to flicker again. That wasn't magic, it was nutrition. His body had been waiting for the right signal, and the avocado gave it to him. Science confirms what Henry experienced. A Mayo Clinic study found that men who ate avocados regularly saw an 18% increase in testosterone after just 6 weeks. That's not a supplement, not an injection, not an expensive treatment. It's a fruit that's widely available, affordable, and delicious. That's what I love most about avocados. You don't need complicated preparation or fancy recipes. Slice it on top of eggs, spread it on whole grain toast, or add it to a salad. Half a fruit a day is enough to fuel a real change in your biology. When I talk to men about testosterone, I always remind them that this isn't about trying to be 25 again. It's about getting back the energy, confidence, and purpose that makes life worth living at 60, 70, or even 80. Testosterone isn't youth, it's vitality, and it's within your reach in the most natural way possible. But hormones are only part of the story. To live with consistent drive and strength, your body also needs reliable, steady energy. And that energy can't come from coffee or sugar. It has to come from fuel that your cells can use every single day. That's where our next fruit comes in. It's simple, common, and often overlooked, but it's one of the best-kept secrets to stable energy and a better mood. Let's talk about bananas, the energy activators that can change how you feel from the moment you wake up. So, third, we have bananas, the energy activator. I once met a man named Walter, a 73-year-old retired school principal from Atlanta. He'd spent his life guiding children, being a leader in his community. But when he sat across from me in my office, his shoulders were slumped and he seemed weighed down. He looked at me and said, "Doctor, I'm tired all the time. Not just tired in my body, but tired in my mind and my spirit. I wake up exhausted, and it stays with me all day long." His words stayed with me because they showed something more than fatigue. They showed a sense of depletion, of being drained of the very force that keeps us moving forward. And what many men like Walter don't realize is that energy, true cellular energy, doesn't just appear. After 60, the body needs steady support, the kind that can only come from the right nutrients. That's where one of the simplest, most overlooked fruits can make a big difference: the banana. Many people think of it as ordinary, but the banana is one of the most powerful activators of sustained energy I've ever seen. It's loaded with potassium, magnesium, and B vitamins, 3 nutrients that quietly keep your body running smoothly. Potassium helps relax blood vessels and supports healthy circulation. Magnesium powers your muscles and nervous system, and B vitamins are crucial for converting the food you eat into usable energy. Together, they do more than just prevent cramps or stabilize blood pressure. They feed your cells directly, giving your body the kind of fuel that doesn't spike and crash, but flows consistently throughout the day. When I asked Walter about his mornings, he admitted he often skipped breakfast or just grabbed a piece of toast before rushing out the door. His body, which was already struggling to produce steady energy at his age, was being asked to run on fumes. I suggested something really simple: start each morning with a banana, along with a little protein like peanut butter, and a glass of water. Within just a few days, Walter told me he felt a change. "I don't just have more energy," he said. "I feel steady, like I'm not crashing halfway through the morning anymore." His wife later told me that he seemed brighter, more engaged, more himself. That was the power of one small fruit, eaten consistently and with intention. Science agrees with Walter's experience. Researchers at Harvard found that older men who ate bananas regularly reported a 27% boost in energy, especially during the first 4 hours of the day, when many men feel their worst crashes. Imagine getting that morning spark back, feeling steady and strong instead of drained and sluggish. It's not a dream, it's biology responding to the right input. What I love most about bananas is how practical they are. No complex recipes, no complicated preparation, just peel and eat. They're easy to digest, making them perfect for men who have trouble with heavy foods in the morning. They provide tryptophan, an amino acid that boosts serotonin, improving mood and calming the mind. And they help regulate blood sugar, preventing the highs and lows that leave you feeling jittery one moment and lifeless the next. For men over 60, consistency is everything. And one banana a day is one of the most reliable habits you can build to get that consistency back. I've seen men change their lives, not by turning everything upside down, but by making small, powerful changes they can stick with. The banana is one of those changes. It's humble, affordable, available year-round, and it speaks directly to what your aging body needs most: reliable energy that supports not only movement and strength, but also clear thinking, emotional stability, and yes, even performance in the moments that matter. Energy is the foundation. Without it, nothing else holds. But once you have steady fuel flowing through your body, the next step is to protect the organ that determines how clearly you think, how balanced you feel, and how deeply you connect with life itself. That organ is your brain. And the fruit that protects it is as small as it is powerful. Let's move on and talk about blueberries, the brain and vitality protector that every man over 60 should know about. Fourth, we have blueberries, the brain and vitality protector. I'll never forget a conversation I had with Richard, a 69-year-old retired engineer from Seattle. He came into my office not because of pain or weakness, but because he felt something slipping away that he couldn't explain. "Doctor," he said, "I feel foggy. I can't remember details like I used to. My focus is fading, and I'm starting to worry that this is just the beginning of the end." His voice was steady, but I could hear the fear behind it. It wasn't just about memory, it was about identity. For many men, losing physical strength is one thing, but losing mental sharpness feels like losing the very essence of who they are. And that's exactly why I always talk about blueberries. Blueberries might be small, but they're truly extraordinary when it comes to protecting the brain and keeping you vital. They're full of compounds called anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that cross into the brain and protect your neurons from the wear and tear of time. After 60, oxidative stress and inflammation start to affect brain health, slowly damaging memory, mood, and clarity. Blueberries fight back against this damage, repairing the damage, reducing inflammation, and fueling the very cells that help you think, remember, and connect. For men like Richard, this wasn't just science, it was hope. I suggested he add a cup of blueberries to his breakfast each day, whether fresh, frozen, or blended into a smoothie. Within a few weeks, Richard came back with a smile. "I don't know how to explain it," he told me. "I just feel sharper. My wife says I'm more present in our conversations. I don't forget where I put things as often. I feel like my mind woke up again." That's the beauty of this fruit. It doesn't just preserve brain function, it restores confidence. When your mind feels clear, you feel lighter, and suddenly life seems brighter again. Science strongly supports what Richard experienced. A study from Tufts University followed older adults who ate blueberries every day. After just 12 weeks, their memory improved, their learning ability sharpened, and even their balance and coordination showed measurable gains. Think about that. 12 weeks of a simple daily habit leading to sharper thinking and steadier steps. For men in their 60s and 70s, that kind of change can change their lives. It means staying independent, staying confident, and staying connected to the people and passions that matter most. But the benefits of blueberries don't stop with the brain. They also protect the heart and support circulation, two keys to male vitality, by reducing blood pressure and reducing arterial inflammation. They support the very system that fuels both your energy and your performance. That's why I see blueberries not just as a brain food, but as a vitality food. They link your mind and body together, making sure that both stay strong and resilient as you age. What I love about blueberries is how simple they are. They're sweet, satisfying, and versatile. You can toss them on cereal, blend them into yogurt, or just eat them by the handful. They don't need any special preparation, but they have a big impact. For men who worry about fading memory, mood swings, or creeping anxiety, this fruit offers reassurance that decline isn't inevitable. There are choices you can make, simple choices that help your brain stay sharp and your life stay full. When I think of Richard now, I think of the relief in his voice when he realized he wasn't destined to lose himself. That clarity, that confidence, is available to every man who's willing to make this habit part of his daily routine. Blueberries protect the brain, they protect vitality, and they help you stay truly present in your own life. But as powerful as they are for the mind, there's another fruit that works wonders for performance in a very different way. It's refreshing, sweet, and often associated with summer. But hidden inside, it is a natural compound that rivals the effects of prescription pills. Let me show you why watermelon has earned its reputation as the natural performance fruit, and how it can quietly restore confidence in ways you might not expect. And finally, we have watermelon, the natural performance fruit. There's something about watermelon that instantly takes men back to a simpler time, the sweetness of summer afternoons, the crisp bite of something refreshing, memories of youth. But for men over 60, watermelon is more than just nostalgia. It's in many ways one of nature's quietest but most powerful tools for restoring performance and vitality. I remember a man named Samuel, 70 years old, a retired mechanic from Texas. He came to see me not because he was sick, but because he'd lost confidence. He whispered it to me, almost as if he was embarrassed. "Doctor, I just don't feel strong in the bedroom anymore. I don't feel like myself." That kind of vulnerability is something I hear often, and there's no shame in it. What Samuel didn't realize is that the answer to his struggle wasn't always in a prescription bottle. Sometimes it's in something as simple as a slice of fruit. Watermelon contains a compound called citrulline, a natural amino acid that the body converts into arginine, which then boosts nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the molecule that relaxes and widens blood vessels, improving circulation throughout the body, including where men need it most for intimacy. This is the same biological process that prescription performance pills rely on. The difference is that watermelon works naturally, gently, without side effects or embarrassment. For Samuel, I suggested adding a cup or two of fresh watermelon to his daily diet. Within weeks, he told me that not only did he feel more energized, but his confidence in intimate moments had quietly returned. He laughed and said, "Doctor, I didn't expect something so simple to make me feel like this again." That's the power of giving your body what it already knows how to use. The science supports what Samuel experienced. Researchers at Texas A&M University studied watermelon and found it had what they called a Viagra-like effect because of its ability to increase nitric oxide and circulation. Imagine that. A fruit most of us associate with summer picnics has the ability to unlock performance in a way most men thought they'd lost forever. And it's not just about intimacy. Improved circulation means improved heart health, better energy, and stronger overall vitality. Every system in your body benefits when your blood flows freely, and watermelon helps make that possible. What I love most about watermelon is how easy it is to enjoy. There's no complicated plan, no long preparation. Just cut, serve, and enjoy. It hydrates the body, provides antioxidants like lycopene that protect your heart, and delivers that crucial citrulline to open up your blood vessels. For older men, hydration alone can make a difference in how alert, strong, and steady you feel. Add in the benefits to performance, and you can start to see why I call watermelon the natural performance fruit. When I think of Samuel now, I think of a man who came into my office carrying the weight of self-doubt and left weeks later with his shoulders higher and his voice lighter. This change isn't about chasing youth, it's about getting back dignity, intimacy, and the confidence that every man deserves at any age. Gentlemen, performance isn't something you have to say goodbye to after 60. With the right choices, with natural support, it can return quietly, steadily, and powerfully. Watermelon is one of those choices. It reminds us that nature has already placed in our hands the tools to get back what we thought was gone. But here's where it gets even more exciting. You've now seen how pomegranates improve circulation, avocados restore testosterone, bananas boost energy, blueberries protect the brain, and watermelon reignites performance. But the real magic happens when you don't treat these fruits separately, but when you bring them together. Because when they're combined, their effects aren't just added, they're multiplied. Let me show you what happens when these 5 essential fruits are mixed into a single daily routine, and why the results can feel truly life-changing. So, now we'll talk about mixing them together, the power of combination. Over the years, I've watched men try one remedy after another, hoping for quick fixes. They take a supplement for energy, another pill for circulation, and maybe a powder for memory. And when none of it works, they feel discouraged, convinced that decline is inevitable. But I tell them something most people overlook: the body was never meant to run on isolated ingredients. It was designed to thrive on balance, on synergy, on the natural harmony of nutrients working together. That's why the real power of these 5 fruits emerges not when they're eaten alone, but when they're combined into a daily routine that speaks to your body on every level. I remember a patient named Richard, a 69-year-old retired engineer who came to me after trying almost every supplement on the shelf. He had bottles lined up in his kitchen, each one promising to restore his youth. He told me, "Doctor, I feel like I'm swallowing hope in capsules, but nothing changes." I asked him to set aside the bottles for a moment and get back to the basics. I suggested he start a morning routine with pomegranate juice, include half an avocado with his breakfast, have a banana mid-morning, a handful of blueberries in the afternoon, and a slice of watermelon after dinner. Nothing exotic, nothing costly, just a routine built from whole foods that his body could recognize and use. 3 weeks later, Richard walked into my office with a different presence. He said, "I didn't just feel better, I felt like my body remembered how to work again." That statement has stayed with me because it captures exactly what happens when men combine these fruits. They're not adding something foreign or artificial, they're unlocking something familiar that the body had been missing. Pomegranate floods the arteries with circulation. Avocado fuels testosterone. Banana steadies energy. Blueberries sharpen the mind. And watermelon restores performance. Each one addresses a vital piece of the puzzle, but together they create a foundation where blood, hormones, energy, and brain all support each other. Science explains why this synergy is so powerful. Nitric oxide from pomegranates and watermelon keeps the blood vessels open, which means the nutrients from bananas and blueberries are delivered more efficiently to your cells and brain. The healthy fats and minerals from avocados stabilize hormones, which in turn support stronger energy production and mood. It's like tuning each instrument of an orchestra. Alone, each makes a sound. Together, they create music. Your body, gentlemen, is no different. Another man I treated, Walter, once told me he never realized how much small, consistent actions mattered until he experienced them himself. He said, "Doctor, I thought I needed one big solution, but it turns out what I really needed was the right combination repeated every single day." That's the secret. Not a miracle, not a shortcut, but daily consistency with the right tools. And the beauty of these fruits is that they're affordable, accessible in any grocery store, and don't need complicated preparation. When you mix them into your life, something changes, not just physically, but emotionally. You feel stronger in your posture, more confident in your presence, more connected in your relationships. Your body stops working against you and starts working for you again. That's the power of synergy, the quiet storm that builds when you fuel circulation, hormones, energy, mind, and performance all at once. But here's what excites most men when I explain this. They always ask, "Doctor, how long before I feel something?" And the answer might surprise you, because while rebuilding health is a long-term journey, the first signs of change can appear far sooner than you think. In fact, some men notice shifts in as little as 3 days, others by 7, and almost all by 15. Let me walk you through what happens to your body week by week, so you know exactly what to expect when you commit to these fruits. Finally, we'll talk about how long it takes until you notice results. One of the questions I hear most often from men is, "Doctor, how long before I feel a difference?" It's a fair question, because when you've been struggling with low energy, weaker erections, or a fading sense of vitality, you want to know when relief will finally come. And here's the truth: while every man's body is unique, the timeline is often faster than most expect when they really commit. I've seen it in my patients again and again, and even in myself when I changed my own diet years ago. For some men, changes start within just 3 days. It's subtle at first, a little more morning energy, a sense of lightness in the body, even a slightly clearer mood. One man told me, "Doctor, I woke up on the 4th day, and for the first time in months, I didn't feel like I had to drag myself out of bed." That kind of early response happens because the body recognizes what it's been missing: fresh circulation from pomegranates and watermelon, steady energy from bananas, mental clarity from blueberries, and hormonal stability from avocados. These aren't foreign chemicals, they're the natural signals your body has been waiting for. By the end of the first week, most men notice something deeper. Erections start to feel stronger, energy no longer crashes in the afternoon, and there's a boost in confidence. I remember a retired teacher, 71 years old, who told me after a week of eating these fruits every day, "It wasn't just physical, I felt like my spirit came back too. I wanted to get up, go out, and do things again." That's the beauty of this approach. It doesn't just change your body, it brings back your drive for life itself. Around the 2-week mark, the improvements often become clear. Blood pressure might drop a little, cholesterol can shift in the right direction, and performance in the bedroom feels more natural, more reliable. A man who'd been embarrassed by failed attempts told me that by day 15, he no longer lived in fear of intimacy. He said, "I didn't need to hope anymore, I trusted my body again, and that's priceless." By 1 month, consistency pays off in a way that surprises many. Not only do erections grow more dependable, but stamina, memory, and emotional stability improve too. Partners often notice before the men themselves do. Wives tell me he's smiling more, or he seems lighter on his feet. That's when you know this is more than a quick fix, it's a turning point. So, how long does it take? The answer is simple: sooner than you think, and longer than you expect. Small changes can appear within days, bigger shifts within weeks, and lasting transformation within months. The key is patience, commitment, and trust in the process. And here's the most important truth I can share with you: your body hasn't given up on you. Even after 60, even after years of decline, it still responds when you give it the right tools. These fruits aren't just food, they're medicine from nature's hand. If you stay consistent, you'll see results, some sooner, some later, but always in the direction of healing. And when that happens, you'll realize something powerful: aging doesn't have to mean giving up. It can mean renewal, if you choose it. That, my friends, is the promise and the invitation. Begin today, stay steady, and watch as your body remembers how strong, vibrant, and alive it was always meant to be. And with that, I want to thank you for walking this journey with me, because your best days aren't behind you, they're still waiting ahead.